Very good morning to you. Hope you had a great weekend. Thank you for staying here on the AM show. I'm Bernice Abubeidulance, and as always, we are very glad that you make time to join us on the show. It's now time to host two important guests, and we're talking about the Graphic Business Stanbic Breakfast Meeting. And it's one we always look forward to here at Joy News. It's important because there is vital information that always comes out of that particular meeting. Today I've been joined by Franklin Sowa. He's Director of Marketing at the Graphic Communications Limited, and Kojo Labadi, Director Comms at Stanbic Bank. If you're a regular, you know that Kojo Labadi is not too new, but you're welcome,
Thank you.
Franklin. It's good to see you here. Right, so what are we talking about this time?
This time we're talking about thriving during economic turbulence. And it's a topic that is very relevant for the times in which we find ourselves. We always come up with topics that connect to the people,
I can testify
the
to
business community,
right,
and all that. And so we felt that based on what we know, based on what we've seen, it's important to have a conversation around such a theme. And of course, because a solution-based platform, you would also want to then have conversations around the courses, around the lessons, and around recommendations as to how we can navigate during turbulent economic times and all that. So that is basically the essence of this conversation this time around.
Right, and you're absolutely right. I'm sure that there are a lot of people who really, really resonate with that subject matter, surviving the times. Mr. Labadi, good to have you here once again.
You promoted me, and I quickly have to correct it. I'm not the director of comms.
Oh, you are?
I'm manager of communications.
Oh, manager of communications, okay.
You know, there are some things that I can go beyond your pay grade.
You're a man of faith.
I believe so.
So let's see how it turns out. Manager of communications at Stanbic Group. Thank you for that. So tell us who will be speaking, because aside from the importance of the subject matter, those who speak to it also give it a lot of weight and a lot of reason why we should listen and join the conversation. So just tell us who those are.
Owing to how critical the topic is, we zeroed in on academia first, zeroed in on business, then we got a practitioner, and the names that would go with the areas I've mentioned are, one of our panelists is Mr. Michael Buzumbi, the CEO of, so he's in business.
Okay.
Then from academia, we chose Professor Ejepoma Jechedako.
Okay.
And then another prof, Professor John Gachi. So this is a lecturer, this is a practitioner.
Yeah,
so you want to call him a consultant.
John Gachi is a regular here.
So the idea then is that, yes, there may be blueprints or there may be ways to thriving in this kind of turbulent situation that we are. But why do you want to listen to me? Why should I be the one to talk about it? The best people to talk would be either a practitioner or a business person, a consultant or an academic. And that's why we zeroed in on these people. And we try to have a gender balance there. So 2 men, 1 lady.
Right. Okay, so there you have it. We're putting faces to the names. So Mr. Michael Buzumbi, the CEO of Petrosol. You have Professor Ejepoma Jechedako. She is an economist, and Professor John Gachi, CEO and business advisory expert. And as always, I like to ask, the room cannot hold everybody who wants to be there. So just let us know how we can all be a part of this so that we benefit. That's the whole point, right? Benefit from the conversations and the recommendations that will come out of that.
Should I take it or?
No, he'll take it. Okay.
Following from what we all learned during the COVID era, which is basically in the background now, we've been doing a hybrid event. So in the room, we would have a number of people, and then we've also extended the invitation to the larger public, so they can join through the Stanbic social media handles. And also
Stanbic. Is it just Stanbic or Stanbic Ghana?
Stanbic Ghana social handles.
Okay.
And then Graphic Communications Group. And then definitely, because Joy is our partner, we said, because multimedia is our partner, we certainly believe that listeners and viewers would also join us and be part of the conversation.
So this is happening tomorrow
Yes.
at 10 a.m.
From 7 o'clock.
From 7.
So it's breakfast meeting.
Right.
So there's breakfast.
Right, and then we will join you. Those who are not there for the breakfast,
So
it's breakfast. He had to clarify that breakfast for invited guests.
So yes, we have a carefully invited guests who are coming from various backgrounds to contribute into this conversation. So yes, they will be in person.
Right.
And then the rest of the people will join us on our social.
So we'll have our breakfast at home and join you.
I'm
later.
sure.
Or you can have it virtually.
Yes, and then we'll join you from 7 a.m. The program will start, but the conversation start proper around 8 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Right, so from 8 o'clock, we will catch up with you on social media and on this platform to listen to the important conversations. But I really like to find out, for those who don't follow per event, is there a way you catalog these recommendations? Is there a document? Is there a site we can visit? Anything, just help us know so that, sometimes also for academic purposes and references, very important conversations you've had over the years, I must admit.
Right.
Where do we find those conclusions?
Previous instances I've had catalogs that have been done. I mean, rapporteurs report and the rest. It's a good reminder because we haven't as yet published them.
Okay.
I guess after this one, this whole pack will be part of what we'll share with the various stakeholders. Remember, we keep talking about policy formulators and all that. So present to them, and then it becomes part of the stock of knowledge that help guide and shape policy in this country.
Right. I just want to find out, why has Stanbic been doing this with graphic business?
Two reasons. We found graphic to be a very credible platform. So graphic then offers the chance to have the likes of Joy and others to also contribute to creating this platform where key national issues can be discussed. And we come on board because we believe when the right things are discussed or pushed, it gives a chance for this economy to grow, because from those nuggets of truth and points that are raised, people learn, people can make more dynamic businesses, and people can make money. When they make money, I guess society benefits, and you say with me.
Yeah. And I think that more importantly, relevance of media is not to just talk about issues, but to engage the right people, have proper conversations around issues, see how we can contribute into making lives better and development of our nation. So yes, it's a thought leadership platform, and relevant brands like the multimedia graphic, we can do things better and bigger in this country, and that is why I believe this collaboration is very important to us, and we cherish what we're doing together to support policy initiatives, policy reforms, strategic thinking along the lines of business space and all that. And steadily, I believe that, like you rightly said, some of the reports that we've published, we've handed over officially to the duty bearers, various duty bearers, from ESA to the ministries, relevant ministries and all that. I will continually be doing that. And of course, on our graphic online website and all that, you have a number of these things there. And of course, it's published over a whole period, various angles and aspects and all that. And I think that the multimedia platforms also do a lot of good interviews, follow-up stories and all that. So those who follow definitely have a lot to chew on. We are trusting that relevant brands will always come together to input into a better nation for us.
I'm just curious though, because you mentioned that the reports and conclusions of these meetings are handed over to the duty bearers, those who are responsible for taking the very vital decisions that either foster growth for our economy or take it downhill. I'm just curious why there's no rep of government on this edition. There have been editions where you either have someone from a government institution or a ministry or something of the sort. Is it that they didn't want to be a part of it, or this is...
You invite them.
But they're not speaking.
Sometimes it's good. No, you have a speaking opportunity at the event. But it's always good sometimes to also create a platform where people who usually speak will listen to experts in the various fields, and then they can come up and say that on this, This is the policy initiative, the policy direction. On that, this feedback is well noted and it will be considered. And you know, there are so many considerations that feed into decisions. So from a strategic perspective, you are saying this. Based on the insights we have, probably your solution may not be the best of solutions in order. So for us, it's a platform to get the experts to talk, to get the various stakeholders to share their thoughts. Put it together, hand it over to those who are in charge of policy development and policy framework, tweaks and turns in order to consider how this will be meaningfully applied.
The other thing, though, I mean, I'm going to hazard an answer. I think you don't have government reps on this, is that, you know, people usually say business is difficult to follow, especially when you're doing hardcore business, using the jargons and all those things. But what you're discussing tomorrow affects everybody. The person on the streets, the hawker on the streets, the woman in the market. We are all just learning how to survive. And I hope that the conclusions will translate into how simple...
That's the simple conversation.
How simple the subject is and won't be over our heads.
No way. So the emphasis is on the individual, it's on the SME, it's on the multinational business, and it's also on the nation as a whole. That's why I said I will look at the causes. So as an individual, am I spending within my means for that matter? What lifestyle changes do I have to apply based on current developments in terms of the economy? Some within my control, some outside my control. But bottom line is, irrespective of where you find yourself, you need to work within what you have. So it's a basic principle of life to help all of us reshape, rethink, and re-strategize.
I like that. Final words?
Well, remember when the president spoke at the inauguration, and that expression he made about people not being spectators, but they got to be citizens. I think that we've heard most times people from the government sector speaking. I think sometimes there's a need to have a perspective, similar but different, to join the whole, and then we can have a better package as a country. You get much more of a buy-in, and then hopefully we'll move on from there. So that's how we end up in this situation where, in your opinion, you don't have any government rep. But you recall that in other instances, there have been government reps.
Yes.
It's just in conformity with this whole idea that you got to hear from the other side too. That's how it comes.
Thank you so much for doing this. We will be there tomorrow. We will join you. You can join virtually on the Stanbic Ghana Facebook page. It's graphic communications group as well. And this is an important conversation, like it has been said, that will help all of us navigate the time. So do stay with us here on your most credible news source. We will be there to bring you all the important conversations. It's happening tomorrow. Graphic Business Stanbic Bank Breakfast Meeting, thriving during economic turbulence, and it's such a great paneling, if you ask me, and one that you must be a part of. Thank you so much to you, Mr. Franklin Soa. He is Director of Marketing at the Graphic Communications Limited, and Mr. Kojo Labi, Comms Manager Communications, Stanbic Bank.
Thank you,
Ghana. You're watching the AM show. Benjamin and I will be back to wrap it all up. Please stay.